Basically, to quote the show, humanity is ruined.
There will be spoilers in this, even though it doesn't matter.
So Attack on Titan, as you probably know, is started out as a manga series by Hajime Isayama, and it's quickly spawned into like a huge franchise due to the fact that the anime came out. And mostly in this video, I'll be touching on the differences between the movie and the anime because it's more popular that way. Shingeki no Kyojin is about a 15-year-old boy named Eren Yeager, his friend and adopted sister Mikasa Ackerman, and their friend, I'll just call him Armin, I don't care what his last name is that much. But they're basically soldiers and they're trying to stop mankind's worst enemy, which are these giants, or they call them the Titans. It turns out that some people, they can turn into Titans due to like some trigger, and Eren seems to be like the only one that's on the human side, while the rest of the other ones are on the Titan side. So naturally, due to the popularity of the manga after the anime is the most popular thing. Of course, there was going to be probably a live-action movie. I mean, Death Note had a movie. A lot of famous Japanese games got movies. Some of them great. They're just great. But that's really hard to find for any adaptation of anything usually. But yeah, this one was not good. So this movie was planned like a long time ago via a like Toyota or like a car commercial, and you can see some like visual effects. So that was like some of like the kind of like the world premiere of like a sneak peek at what the movie was gonna be. And this movie is directed by Shinji Higuchi. But Shinji Higuchi, what the heck? Now, a man by the name of Tetsuya Nakashima was originally gonna be doing the directing of this film, but he dropped out due to creative differences. So yeah, you'll tell why he dropped out soon. Alright, the story was terrible. When you do an adaptation, you can, if you don't do the source material, then that's fine. But like, if your story that you make is not good, I don't think you should execute it. It made no sense. Like if you're this movie didn't make any sense in that when you go in, it's treating you like as if you're supposed to know the source material, but when you get into the movie, you realize none of that. You realize none of it was super necessary. Like knowing what Titans are and what they can do and stuff like that is pretty necessary, but like it was also trying to tend to the people who don't understand what's going on, which made itself confused. Alright, well, I'll just start off with the story. Okay, the story. So it starts off with Eren, played by Haruma Miura. Well, he looks similar to Eren. They got that right. That's pretty good. And then we see Armin, who's played by Kanata Hongo. Well, of course they can't get a blonde Japanese guy to be a good actor. There's a lot of weird Japanese people who are blonde, and it's not real, but I was fine with that. I'm fine. Who cares, right? It's a movie. Let's just see how it plays out. And then he is asking for Mikasa, who is played by Mizuhara Kiko. And then when they do meet up with Eren, Eren's wearing the scarf that Mikasa's supposed to be wearing. So I'm like, okay, well, he'll give it to her eventually, right? Yeah, sure. It doesn't have to be just like the original, but who cares? I'll just see where this goes since it's an adaptation. Who cares? He starts talking about the walls to Mikasa, and like he's asked her, do you just want to go see them? Sure. So they go see the wall, and then Mikasa's like coughing, it's cold, and then Eren gives her the scarf. That's how it happened in the movie, because she was cold out of nowhere. A guy by the name of Soda, who's supposed to be Haynes, but this doesn't sound Japanese, so they named him Soda. He comes in, and he's like, what are you guys doing so close to the wall? Then the Colossal Titan comes. and they're running away. Like, they promote the heck out of the Colossal Titan being in the movie because it's a staple for the show in the books. But he's on screen for like 2 minutes. He's on the poster basically. He's on the poster right there, but he's not in the movie ever again. And like, this is where the like spoilers can come in. Like, he's a Titan shifter, and the character who is supposed to shift into him is not in this movie. So after the Colossal Titan comes, people die. It's like the scene where the Colossal Titan appears in the show and the books and stuff like that. But then normally, Aaron's supposed to go like to his house and see his mom get killed, you know, so Aaron can have drive in the show. But in the movie, they switched it so that when the Titans are actually coming, everybody's just running away, including Mikasa and Aaron, who are together. But like, Armin's missing. Armin just disappeared. But Mikasa's like, oh, there's a baby, I have to save the baby. She goes over to the baby, gets stuck in the running crowds. Aaron makes it into the bunker, Mikasa doesn't. And then out comes the smiling Titan that kills Aaron's mom. So we know that scene's not gonna happen. And they straight up kill Mikasa for about half the movie. Aaron is shocked. He joins the army alone, no Armin. Armin does show up later, but it shows Aaron joining the army alone. Or the Recon Corps, or whatever you want to call him. The guy who's supposed to be like governing them and stuff. It's a guy named Kubal. I feel like it's supposed to be like Keith, but he's like not really. It's like confused. He's just like a military officer. Out of kind of nowhere, like, Hanji shows up. She's basically like an officer now instead of being like a major soldier. She's just there to help the troops, not be a crucial member of the... I mean, like I say, adaptation, who cares? And then Sasha appears and she's like, oh, you know what happened that day, please tell me. And then they explain to her, or Armin does. And then there's some relationship building with them. Ooh. Aaron walks away, leaving Armin with Sasha. And this new girl, Hyana, who's not based on anybody, is a brand new character to the movie. Armin gets into a little scuffle with John, who appears. Aaron comes in out of nowhere to stop it, building the hatred, or like building like the rivalry they have, which was a good part. Like they pretty much built the rivalry between them decently, yeah. So like after the food scene, they're doing like a night mission. While they're there, Aaron and that girl Hyana, they're running. They hear a baby noise. They run towards it. It's a baby Titan. Titans are babies now, and they make baby noises. So while that's happening, you see this guy come in, kill Titan. He's really good. And then you see a girl come in at the same time, killing Titan. She's really good. They reveal who the girl is first, and surprise, surprise, it's Mikasa. She didn't die, apparently. And then they show the guy, who's named Kishima, and he's supposed to be Levi. So, like, Levi is introduced now. Here's Levi, the Levi of the movie. And here's a weird thing. Aaron goes to see Mikasa, like, in their base. Shikishima and Mikasa's base, because they're now partners. He's like, oh, that's good, you're alive. And she's like, oh, is it good? The baby died, I have the scar. And she pulls up her shirt to see, like, the scar. Then Shikishima comes in. Straight up shows that they have a relationship now. So, like, in the movie, Levi and Mikasa are dating. I mean, if you think about it, Levi's technically, he's confirmed to be over 30, and Mikasa's 15. So that's kind of weird. Adaptation. Let's keep going. Mayhem's happening outside. Aaron goes out and yells. He's like, I just lost the girl I really like because I love her in the movie. And then out of nowhere, here comes Hyana. She's like, come with me. But they run away. They're like in an abandoned house or like abandoned building, and then sitting down talking about like what just happened with Mikasa and like what was your relationship with her and stuff like that. The couple that was in the show, they show up, and they've been in the movie for a little bit, and you can notice some points where you see them in the background or something like that. Like they're basically having sex. It's a sex scene. You don't see anything, but and then this Hyuna character is like, "Hey, Eren, have sex with me right now," and like they're about to get it on when Eren notices a giant eye behind her. Titan kills Hyuna. She's dead. There goes a character that we didn't even know about. That couple, of course, the guy dies like in the show and in the book, but like, you know, who cares? So after that, Eren goes out, and he notices Shikishima watching everybody as they fight, kind of judging them and stuff like that. And then he sees Jean, who's like about to retreat. He goes over to Jean. He's like, "You can't retreat now. We have to show our strength and our training and stuff." And Jean's like, and he starts backing off. But then Eren, kind of being stupid, he just bolts out trying to impress Shikishima, saying, "I'm better than you. You suck." But you can't, because Shikishima's the Levi of this movie, and he's supposed to be the best. So Eren's fighting, and then gets his leg chopped off, and then he's just lying there on a roof like normal. And then Jean miraculously gets out with some characters helping. Armin asks, "Hey, what happened to Eren?" And he's like, "Oh, he's dying right now." Jean doesn't care. And then Armin's distracted and gets grabbed by a Titan. As Eren's dying also, by the way, Mikasa shows up and she's like, "Eren's dying." And then a Titan appears behind her. She's like, "A Titan." And she's like, "What do I do? Do I save this guy I probably used to like? Or do I kill the Titan and kill one Titan?" So she kills the one Titan because she's in love with Shikishima now. Since he's the Levi, he's over 30 and she's 15. So Eren's just lying there dead, dying. And he sees Armin about to be eaten, and he crawls over and then saves him. Armin gets chopped off like in the show. He's going down into the Titan's stomach. Armin's like, "Mikasa, here's his arm. He died." And Mikasa's like, "Okay, cool." Turns around and keeps fighting. She kind of gets cornered, but she doesn't really, because she's kind of being reckless now that Eren's quote-unquote dead. The Titan that kills Eren shows up in front of Mikasa, and she's like, "Oh, fight me." And then Eren comes out of the Titan's mouth as an Eren Titan and just starts going to town, killing and wrecking a bunch of the Titans. And then Mikasa's confused. Everyone's confused. Then out of nowhere, Mikasa's like, "I got it." He just starts looking at Mikasa, and Mikasa stares back at him and saying, "Eren." Somehow she knew he was a Titan the whole time, you know, because he definitely looks like Eren with the bowl cut, haircut. Yeah. Eren tries killing her like in the show, like just straight up punches the wall, and then he just dies. Him as his Titan dies. Mikasa's like, "Oh, it's Eren, I gotta cut him out." She cuts the weak point that would probably normally kill Eren. And then Eren comes out and he looks like he has a bunch of like he has like a bunch of placenta on him. He just came out of the womb. Movie over. It was a part 1. It was a part 1 the whole time. Part 2, it's coming. September 17th, I think, or around that time. There's also a mysterious hooded character who I think it might have been a girl, but it also might be a guy. I mean, I don't know who it is, but like I'm guessing. I'm just gonna go ahead and guess. It's either Eren's dad, because it looked like just like an old man. Annie, because it sounded like a girl, but like you couldn't see the face really. Or like. Erwin Smith. So what's good about this movie? Well, it's got the atmosphere of like Attack on Titan. It's got like a similar atmosphere of like hell is broken out and just everything's going bad. Essentially, it's got that type of atmosphere, and like the acting was pretty decent. The special effects were pretty good. The normal Titans look like Titans. Like similar to the show, there was a lot of like gore and a lot of like straight up, whoa. Like there were people sitting next to me who were trying to cover their like eyes a little because they're like, oh my gosh, what is even this? Some other good things were like some characters, they actually look like their respective original characters that they're supposed to look like, and that's pretty good. I mean, when you're doing an adaptation, it's good to have characters look like who they're trying to be. What's bad with it? There's a lot of things wrong with this. Clearly, it's not like the original story. I mean, it's an adaptation. I mean, the director wanted to go his own creative way. The previous director's like, nope, I'm not having that, which I think was a good smart move because, yeah, the story was just not good. It was hard to tell some characters apart, like Sasha and this girl Hyana. Like, for a while, I'm like, who's who? And for a while, I'm like, who's Eren? Who's Armin? I can't tell. Is that Mika? Is she back? I can't tell. What's going on? It's very dark. The movie is physically like dark. There's no colors. There's no it's very gray. There's just a lot of elements that that make Attack on Titan so good that they're missing from the movie. And they said they wanted to make a live action movie with stuff that looks physically impossible in the show and stuff like that. They're just gonna take that out. Yeah, it just didn't know if it wanted to be its standalone movie or like a standalone story or like an adaptation, which I feel like it did bad on both parts. Like, sorry to say, I was super hyped for this movie. Like I before going in, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's about to go down. Things are about to go. Oh my gosh! I'm looking at this. I'm like, oh my gosh. They gave me this poster. I'm like, oh my gosh. Sit down. I'm like, here it comes. Here it comes. I'm watching it. The first couple minutes, I'm like, all right, here we go. It's starting. I feel like beforehand, I'm like, they're probably not gonna go the same route as the show. I mean, come on, it's an anime adaptation movie. Usually they're not good. Same thing with video games, but like, I was super like excited. I was like confident in this kind of actually though. I instantly lost my confidence in the first 5 minutes when I noticed they're not going with the original story. Mostly because they were completely derailing, as if like this is a different Mikasa, a different Eren, a different Armin. Like, people, like, who are these people? Like, Eren's not like tenacious. Mikasa is not protective of Eren and a good fighter because it's naturally born. She was taught by this Levi character. Armin is not like scared and kind of weak. I mean, they never show him fighting, but he doesn't look generically weak, or he doesn't talk generically weak. I mean, they show him to be kind of smart, and like he's making a plan with his mashed potatoes to explain to Sasha what happened at the wall. There were like a bunch of random characters, like they had the show and the book have a bunch of characters they could have used, like even characters that have Japanese sounding names. At this point, I just don't care. My suggestion, watch the show. Read the books. If you're a huge fan, go ahead, watch it. Watch it. If you want to watch it. But just like heed my warning in that it's not as good as you think it will be. Sure, it might be a little good, but it's not as good as you think it will be. Season the Sesame, Diego.